Yo, it's me, Captain Gold, and you're watching yet another Gold Standard Project Zomboid tier list video. Now for today's tier list, I'll be ranking the melee weapons in vanilla Project Zomboid, all for build 41. And as per usual, I'll only be working with bullet points for this video. And also please keep in mind that this is ultimately my subjective opinion on this topic. Now I probably could have made this into a more objective video, but that would take a lot of time. I mean, that's a lot of stats to look through and a lot of weapons to look through, and I really don't feel like doing that. So I'm just going to be basing this tier list on my personal experience and based on any knowledge that I may have memorized. So with that said, let's go ahead and get this ball rolling by starting with the worthless tier. Now, I've already set up the worthless tier ahead of time because the tier list that I found on this website was just filling to the brim with them. Like, all of these weapons here are worthless. You're better off using your own hands to kill zombies than you are using these weapons. Actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, okay, I'll be nice. I'll place the spiked plank. I don't know why there's two of them on here, but I'll place that in bronze for now. I think that makes. I think it's a little better than just your hands. But with that said, let's actually start this list properly with the bronze tier. Now, in the bronze tier, I'd put most of the short blades here. So let me just put these on here before I explain my reasoning. So these short blades are not the hunting knife. They're not the ice pick. They're not the meat cleaver. They're not the hand scythe. They all just generally suck. But they are definitely better than nothing, and you still can perform stealth kills with these little pin needles. You can also perform jaw stabs as well, but remember, when you're doing jaw stabs, you can't really have more than one zombie in front of you, because then it'll cancel the animation. But, yeah, no, these will be placed here. Like, these weapons, as much as they suck, they are technically better than nothing. After that, I would actually place the pans. I think the griddle pan is the best pan, and I think the saucepan is the worst in terms of a weapon. You can fact check me on that. But the pans are great early game weapons that you can find in houses. And they are all short blunts, so they won't tear any zombie clothes off, which is important in the early game when you're trying to get good clothing. And they're pretty durable and hit decently well for what they are. And they have better range than those short blades. So solid weapons, at least in the context of them being a starter weapon when you are on day 1 or day 2, right? And speaking of cooking supplies being used as weaponry, the rolling pin is actually also a pretty decent weapon. Actually, I'm going to put the rolling pin down here. I don't remember the exact stats for it, but it's made out of wood, so it's probably not as good as something made out of iron. After the rolling pin, I think I'll put the stone axe and the stone hammer. And we'll put the axe above the hammer because it does more damage. Now, the reason these items are so low is because they break very easily. But you can craft them, and they're not difficult to craft. You just need ripped sheets and a tree branch and either a chipped stone or a normal stone, which, that's not really difficult to find when you're foraging. Now, another reason why these weapons are bad is because not only do they have shit durability, they kind of don't do that much damage. And their range isn't all that great. So, I think they belong there on the tier list. With that said, I think we'll top off the bronze tier with the sledgehammer. It does a lot of damage. It has a lot of good range. But, now that I think about it, it's very slow swinging weapon, right? The attack speed's pretty bad, and it drains so much stamina, and it weighs a lot as well. I'll go ahead and put it above the short blades. Yeah, I think that's an adequate location for the sledgehammer. And then I guess I might as well put the barbells or the weight equipment or exercise equipment in bronze tier. I mean, they do a lot of damage and they're decently durable, but you know, I think they also weigh quite a bit, right? And they probably tire you out quite a bit as well. So I don't know where to put them. I'm gonna go ahead and put them just above the stone weapons. Yeah, you know, I think this looks about right. Yeah, I think this looks about right. Anyways, onwards to the silver tier. When we're looking at the silver tier, I think we'll start it off with all the hammers. And the club hammers definitely are better weapons than the standard hammers. The ball peen hammer and the normal hammer, they're basically the same thing. After that, we've got wrenches. Now, the pipe wrench is actually a better weapon than the standard wrench. That I do remember. After that, I guess we could put the rest of the short blades in silver tier. In this exact order. The ice pick is pretty good for a short blade. But you want to know what's better than that? The hunting knife. Now, when it comes to actual short blade supremacy, the best short blades would be the meat cleaver and the hand scythe. They're just better. I mean, yeah, you don't get to do the fancy stealth kills. You don't get the chance for that one-shot kill, which, by the way, is overrated. You don't really have it as much as you think you do. I tested that in a video. You can go ahead and check that out. I'll link it up in the top side of the screen or whatever. But, yeah, so these would be the best short blades in the game. Absolutely. That's how I feel about it. After these short blades, I would put the metal pipe and the lead pipe. Super durable, and they do decent damage, and they are easy to find. Well, lead pipe's not so easy to find, but the metal pipe, super easy to find. I guess we could put the wood axe at the top of silver tier as well. And the reason I'm putting the wood axe there is because it heavily fatigues players, and it's better used on trees. Don't get me wrong, it's a solid weapon, but there are better axes in the game for combat. You know what, let's go ahead and put the spear variants as well in silver tier. And these spear variants are everything that isn't the machete spear or the hunting knife spear. And the reason I have these here, I'm assuming this is the kitchen knife, by the way. Maybe that is the hunting knife, I'm not sure. But the reason these are here and not in gold is because they require resources. And they require valuable resources. Knives are great tools. I wouldn't say they're great weapons, but they're great tools. And duct tape's pretty valuable. And you know, and they also don't do that much more damage than an actual spear. So you know, this is tough because the use of resources is kind of. Yeah, I'll put them right above those short blades in bronze tier. Yeah, I think that's a fair placement. Yeah, I think that's fair. All right, now we can talk about the only tier that matters in this game, and that's the gold tier. And we'll be starting that tier off with shovels. Now, the cool thing about shovels is that they're durable and they hit hard, and you have some good range with them. Like, you really can't go wrong using a shovel. There are better weapons in the game, but when you find a shovel, that's usually a good thing. Next, I would place the hand axe and the nightstick, which are arguably the best one-handed weapons in the game, excluding the machete. Now, if I had to pick one, I personally prefer it to be the nightstick, as it has roughly double the durability of the hand axe and weighs less and will not damage the clothing on zombies. Not to mention the hand axe makes for a great emergency wood-cutting axe, right? So I'd rather have it not break. So if I had to choose which one to fight with, it would be the nightstick. The next weapon I would put here would be the standard baseball bat. This motherfucker hits hard, swings fast, and is pretty durable. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. After that, I would put the machete spear or the hunting knife spear. And the reason for that is that hunting knives can be easily found. And as a spear, it does noticeably better job than the standard spear on damaging Zeds. The machete spear is also great because it does a tremendous amount of damage, has great range, but it also allows you to reset the repair count of your machete. So you kind of get a game exploit when you make the machete spear. And that game exploit makes it easier to maintain the best one-handed weapon in the game. Anyways, after that, I would place the pickaxe, if it lets me put it right there. Super hard hitting, really durable as well, but it does fatigue you a little quickly and has slow-ish swing speed. So, and it's also kind of rare, so you know, definitely not the best axe. But after that, I would definitely place the spiked baseball bat. It is the single hardest hitting long blunt in the game that doesn't suck. It's easy to repair, it's pretty durable, has decent range, and also has a fast swing or attack speed. Now, the only issue with it is that it can damage the clothing of Zeds. That, and you actually have to find a bat in order to make a spiked bat. Be that as it may, the next two weapons are the crowbar and the fire axe. I'd say using the crowbar first to level maintenance and then switching to the fire axe is probably the optimal strategy. The crowbar is also the ultimate backup weapon, as you can carry one in your bag and it takes forever to break. It has good range, speed, and decent damage. But that durability, when I say it takes nearly forever to break, if you get a crowbar in tip-top condition, oh boy, that motherfucker's gonna be serving you for a long time. You can even use it in one hand as well. That's something some people don't realize. Although the damage and the effectiveness of the weapon is severely reduced, you can use the crowbar with just one hand. It's also one heck of a tool. The fire axe, on the other hand, is the best axe because it hits super hard, has decent weight, doesn't reduce stamina as much as the wooden axe or the pickaxe, and has a fast attack speed. It's an amazing weapon, to be honest, and at high levels, you're going to be one-shotting Zeds, no problem. Now, even better than these two legendary titans of the game is the garden fork or the pitchfork. And the reason for that is that it's just a spear with really, really, really good durability and better damage. But, you know, you can't craft it, and you have to find it, and it's not exactly a bountiful item that you can find everywhere. Which is why I have the spear above it, even though the garden fork is technically a better spear. Because your standard spear, all you need is a knife and a wooden plank or a tree branch. You'll never run out of resources to make craftable spears. And the beautiful thing about spears is you can attack through fences. You can charge Zeds down. There's a high chance for one-shotting the undead. Crit chance is pretty high as well. Attack speed's pretty high. Weight's not too bad at all. You can go fishing with it. Yeah, no, the spears are goated as fuck. Definitely some of the best weapons in the game. But what's better than the spear is the katana. Level up maintenance and long blade, and you'll be slicing through undead hordes like as if you were Michonne from The Walking Dead, or as if you had a lightsaber, basically. Now, the only downside to the katana is that it cannot be repaired, and it's extremely rare to find. So that's why I have as the best weapon in the game being the machete. Insane damage, lightweight, fast attack speed. It's one-handed, so you can carry a bag in one hand while still doing better than a lot of these weapons here. It's just it's a goated weapon, and again, you can use the machete spear trick, right? You can use the machete to make a spear, and then you can remove that machete from that spear, and it will reset the repair count. So you could technically better maintain a machete that way, and make the weapon last for an insanely long period of time. So because of that game exploit, because of it being one-handed, because of the damage, because it's definitely not as rare as the katana, this is arguably, in my opinion, the best weapon in the game, hands down. You just can't go wrong with it. Every time I get a machete, I'm super happy. So anyway, I think that's it. I think this is the list. I think this makes total sense. So to go over these tiers real quick, worthless, you're better off using your hands. Bronze tier is just that tier where either it's good early in the game or it's technically better than nothing. Silver tier is good because the weapons are decently durable or they do decent damage. They all make for solid secondary weapons or backups. And then gold tier, this is what your primary weapons should be. Okay, that's what you want your primary to be. So anyways, if you enjoy this sort of content, please like, share, and subscribe. Also hit that damn notification icon so that you can be alerted to when I publish a new video. Last of all, leave me your thoughts on this tier list in the comments section. I do try to read them on my free time. Anyways, I'm Captain Gold and hope to see you in my next video. Bye-bye.